Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to my 60th Flosstube episode. If you are new here, welcome. This is a channel that's mostly about cross stitch. However, I do share my other hobbies here when I've worked on them. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and spending time with me. I appreciate all of you even more than you know. Today is Sunday. It is April the 6th, and it is a chilly, gloomy, windy day here in Maryland. We might have some rain coming in shortly, so if I have to pause and close some windows in just a little bit, I will do so. Our spring weather, as per usual, has been all over the place. Sometimes it's like close to the 80s, and I think this week it's going to be in the 40s, so it's pretty par for the course for here in Maryland. I will say that the spring allergies are definitely kicking. I had a small sneezing fit before this started, so I will try to keep the sniffles at a minimum, but I'm just going to do the best I can. I hope everybody had a wonderful March. Ours was very busy. We had something going on, or I had something going on just about every weekend, and I will share a little bit about that here in a couple minutes. But for now, Cora is sleeping on the ground down here. She was running around barking at dogs earlier, so maybe she's tired herself out. The cats are upstairs, Aaron's at work, Quentin's at work, and I'm here with you. So I guess we should probably get into it. I have a lot to share, like I said. I think I said. But I have got a little bit of embroidery to share. I have got some pictures that I'd like to share with you from the Woodlawn needlework show that I attended in the beginning of March. I have somebody else's fully finished object, FFO, that I thrifted. I have works in progress. I've got whips. I have finishes. I think I've got some new starts in there. Maybe. Yeah, definitely. I've just not really been starting a lot lately, so I do have some new starts in there. I have some giveaways this time. Last year I missed my 5-year Flosstube anniversary, but this past March, I think it was March 16th maybe, was my 6-year Flosstube anniversary, so I've got some giveaways to share for that. And then I've got, of course, what came in the mail and or what I bought at a store. So we should probably get started. All right, the first thing I'm going to share with you today is a little bit of embroidery that I did. I used to do embroidery pretty regularly, and I fell out of it, and I definitely am a little rusty, which you'll see here in a minute. But for the first day of spring, I took the day off of work, like I like to do, and I pulled out this kit. It's a partial kit from Liz Matthews. It's called Home Sweet Home. So I got this back in 2020. Liz used to do these embroidery kits where you would get the printed panel of fabric and you would just add embroidery in certain places. I don't believe she has these anymore. I've finished another one that I've turned into a pillow, and also I've got one more, I think, in my stash. So I pulled this out and I worked on this for the first day of spring. It went pretty quick. I didn't finish it that day, but I think I finished it over that weekend. These are the DMCs that it called for. And there's a lot of cat hair on this. Tarzan is just exploding hair all the time. So, alright, here's my finish. So this is the panel that you got. And then she gives you instructions on where to stitch. So on this one, you stitched in the Home Sweet Home, the little birdies carrying. You did these little X's around the border, and then you stitched in this little nest. And this is where I can definitely tell that I'm rusty. I've got some definite puckering of the fabric there. Just because my tension was a little off, and also she has directions in here on the order that you're supposed to stitch things, and I didn't follow that, and I do think that that contributed to my my puckering fabric. But there's my little nest. That was fun. It was fun to get this out of my stash after so long, and to get it done. Yeah. Okay. The next thing I'd like to share with you is some pictures from the Woodlawn Needlework Show. The Woodlawn Needlework Show is held every year in Alexandria, Virginia. This is what it looks like. I want to say this was the 63rd year, but I could just be making that up because I see the year 1963 on it. I don't know. Anyways, This is my 3rd year attending the needlework show. I go with a group of ladies from my stitching group. We go to the show, we normally get some lunch, and then we go to In Stitches in Alexandria, which is a lovely shop, and they do give you a little coupon in here for 20% off of an item if you attend the show. So I will share what I got there a little bit later on, but I'm going to show some pictures here of what the show kind of looks like. You know, walking into the house and some of the walls and how they're set up, and there are always such inspirational pieces there, things that you're like, oh my gosh, like how fortunate am I to see these in person. So I thought I would also kind of talk about some of my very favorites. The very first piece that I saw when I walked in was Threads of Time Sewing Bird by my friend Ethel, who is Stitches by Ethel, and that was so fun to see one of her pieces there. I did text her immediately. I was like, look what's here. That was super nice. There were a few Hands Across the Sea patterns, samplers that have been finished. Here is Mary Ann Bourne's, Sarah Brazier, which it glows in person, Anne Campion, which I really, really like. I think I would like to get that pattern. And then Elizabeth Weston. Elizabeth, I've seen people work on her. I've obviously never seen her in person until now, and I didn't think that she was necessarily my style, just kind of based on some of the colors, but she was so gorgeous. She blew me away. She's definitely a pattern that I would love to stitch one day, and I did take a picture too of one of the little overwon birds because that was so sweet. There was some modern folk embroidery patterns there. Here is Fruits of Plenty, and this is stitched over one, and it was gorgeous. There was also, I think, 2 No Time Like the Present patterns that were done there, which definitely made me feel inspired to pull mine out. I did not pull mine out this month, but I really enjoyed it. I think I only took a picture of one here. This next one is Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger, and this one was stitched without the background on just a beautiful piece of linen, and it was gorgeous. It was stunning. Here's a Prairie Schooler Alphabet. This is one of my very favorites that was there. This is the Big Red Ship of Life done in like a rainbow. Wow, that was amazing. Like close up, like seeing how the stitcher incorporated each color into the next one. That's a masterpiece. There were several full coverages there, and getting to see a full coverage like way up close, and then like being able to sit back and like getting really close and seeing those beautiful stitches. Wow, that was amazing. Oops. And then lastly, I'm sure that probably a lot of you have seen this chair. There was a wingback chair that a woman had stitched every portion of, down the back, on the sides, on the cushions, under the cushions, and it was basically the story of her life. Things she had done, things she had accomplished, things that she cares about, places she had lived, cars that she owned, so much. So I'm gonna have some pictures up here, and I think I might have a little bit of video too that I can share as well. That was wild. I think last year there was a whole couch that had been stitched, needle pointed, I think, and then this was a cross-stitch chair. So if you've never been to the Woodlawn Needlework Show, it's pretty inspiring. It makes you want to go and stitch on everything that you own immediately. And it was really great again this year. Plus the company that I got to go with was, you know, I love those ladies, so. Right. Okay, I needed to turn off one of my ring lights for this next thing that I have to share with you. So like I said, I was off on the first day of spring, and that was on Thursday this year. And Thursday is my grocery store day. But because I was off, I didn't have to go after work. I decided to treat myself to a little thrifting prior to that. So I went to a couple of different places. Actually, I forgot one other thing that I got, but I'll bring that down later to go over when I show you what I've purchased, what else I've purchased. Anyways, I went to a thrift store that was new to me. I had seen it several times, but I don't know if the hours just don't work out, or it's like the next town over, so I never really think of it. It's called the Willow House, and I decided just like on a whim, like to stop in. So I went in there, and this was like the first thing that I saw. This is, we're gonna get a lot of glare here, and I tried it different ways, but I've got windows there, lights there, so there's no stopping it. But this is I Give You My Heart by Barbara Anna. This was professionally framed by a place here in my town. And I'll try to get it close up. Sorry, there's, like I said, there's going to be a ton of glare here. You can see there's our setup high. But there she is. She's really pretty. I think I paid $5 for her. She does have some of her pearls are a little loose in there, and I can't decide if I should open up the back and fix them or just leave it how it is. I'll probably just leave it. But she's sweet. She hangs up in my sewing room, and the lady there that was working, she was like, I was so excited when I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh. And she was like, we just knew when this came in that just the right person would appreciate it and would find it. And I was definitely that person. So there she is. Here, I'll put a picture in here of the wall that she lives on upstairs. So, love her. Alright friends, the next thing I would like to talk to you about today are pinwheels. I'm sure either through Flosstube or Instagram, many of you are aware of Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions Pinwheel Adoption that she's got going on this year, kind of a la Duck Derbies of years past. Emily is a program director for CASA of Northwestern Georgia, and she's doing this fundraiser to help raise funds for the program that she works for and to support kids. Pinwheels are the symbol of child abuse prevention, and there's a website that has been created for this raffle, which I will have linked below, and you can go on there and you can buy pinwheels. They're $5 a piece or 6 for $25, or you can just make a donation to the cause if you would like. I looked on the website earlier, and so far she has raised $8,000 of her $15,000 goal, and there's more than a month left, so I have no doubt that we can get her to that goal. So what do you get if you adopt and enter this raffle? Well, Emily was given a stitcher stash, a stitcher that could not stitch anymore, gave her this stash, and that is what she's using as the raffle prizes. Emily's got several videos of unboxing of this stash up on her channel. I've really enjoyed watching them. That's like keeping me company on the treadmill, keeping me going, is watching Emily unbox this stash. And the treasures that this woman had are amazing. There's probably some of your unicorns in there. There's definitely out of print charts, there are kits, there's fabric, there's so much. So that was incredibly kind and generous. And I do hope that you've already adopted some pinwheels, or if you haven't, I hope that you do. And I wanted to give a little extra incentive, not that you need one, because supporting kids is like, who doesn't want to do that, right? But I thought that I would do a little giveaway here if you let me know that you've adopted your pinwheels. So standard giveaway rules apply. Please don't say giveaway in the comments. Please be 18 years old. I will ship this one anywhere in the world, and I just need you to tell me in the comments that you have adopted your pinwheels. I'm not going to fact check you. So I mean, if you want to lie about helping kids, that's on your conscience, right? Anyways, here is what you could win. This is Caught in the Swirl by Kathy Barrick. And I thought this was very pinwheel-esque. So let me know that you adopted your pinwheels, and I will enter you into winning this chart. Alright, so let's get into what I stitched on this month. Let's see, here's my book of days, and in the month of March I had 5 finishes and 3 new starts, and I've actually already had 1 finish so far for April, so I'll share that too. Alright, the first project I have to share with you is something I was working on the last time that I made a video, and that is Miss Lucy Calcutt 1825 by Just Stitching Along. She looks like this. She is beautiful. I love her. She is my oldest whip currently. I started her in November of 2020. I think she was my birthday start in 2020. And I would like to think of a way to make her more of a focus piece. She is big. She is 273 wide by 393 high. But I just haven't figured out what that's going to look like yet. So there's the chart. She lives in this delicious threads bag that I love. And the other chart, the other Lucy Calcutt chart is in here as well. This is 1826. Gorgeous. I am stitching her in the called for DMC, which is a beautiful pinky palette. And I'm stitching her on 25 count Lugana that I dyed myself, 1/1. So here's where she is. Not too far, probably not much farther than when I showed it to you last month. Bring it in a little bit. There's the first row of pages, and then I had finished this page down here, which means I've got 3, 4, 5 pages left to go. She's beautiful. I don't know why I can't get her going any faster. I really don't want her to take 5 more years, so I need to focus on her in some way, but I don't know, she's going to go away for now, and we'll get back to her. Maybe if I can get 1 more page done this year, that would be great. Oh, the next project I have here, I don't remember if I had started it. I might have already started it in my last video, or maybe I had just talked about it as a plan. I'm not positive. But this pattern is Community is Resistance by Cross Stitched and Painless Crafts. Jerry, here's a little sticker. Oh, will it focus? Of what the pattern looks like, and I'll put a picture up here as well. Jerry is great. She made this pattern, and then once you purchase it, either through her Etsy or if you contact her to buy it, you have an option to join a group chat of wonderful, creative people, and so I did so, and that's been really wonderful. This project lived in this pretty moth bag, and I stitched it in all of the called for DMC. On a piece of, what's this, 32 count Scalp by Seraphim. This is an opal fabric. Let me fold it a little bit here. And here's my finish. You see the sparkle? This is a very sparkly fabric. I don't think I've ever had a fabric this sparkly before. But I love this. I love stitching this. I love the Grateful Dead. As many of you know, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but even like the names of my Flosstubes are all Grateful Dead lyrics, and there is a Spotify playlist down in my description of the songs that those lyrics come from. But here they are. Can't wait to get them framed and hung up. Love, love, love. Love them. The next project I have here is my Board of Ed stitching. Typically, every other Monday night, I have to watch my local county's Board of Education meetings, and I was inspired to start this piece because of them. This is Stone Street Stitchworks, the MLK sampler. And it says, "The time is always right to do what is right." This lives in this little Maryland bag that I made, and I chose colors that are symbolic of our school system. I know these are not probably the normal colors that I would pick, but they do go for this, and this will go at my desk at work when it is finished. I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count mallow, and here's what I got. So I am almost done with the top half of this pattern. I've got one more bird to finish, and I think one flower left to finish, and the top section will be done. These board meetings can go 4 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, like you never know how long they're going to take. But I think this will only get one meeting in the month of April. The second meeting of the month I will actually be on spring break. I took a couple extra days at the beginning of our spring break to give myself that week off, so I will not be watching a board meeting on my time off. But there it is. I love this little pattern. I believe the next few patterns that I have to share are things that I'm working on with friends. And this first one is Painted Wings by Kathy Barrick. I'll put in a picture here of what this project looks like. I'm stitching this with my friend Anne. She actually just finished hers, and she did it as a tribute to her mother, and it turned out beautifully. Just really, really gorgeous. I love this pattern. This lives in this little mushroom bag. And I am stitching it on a piece of 40 count Tuscan by Color and Cotton. It was a fabric of the month. And I'm using all of the NPI silks. Like this. I got the silks for this project from Olivia B. at Hillside Rookery. She is the best silk dealer, NPI dealer. Here is her card. Hillside Rookery. She is always linked below, so if you ever need some silks, go visit her. And here's where I got to. So I have just been stitching all of the black outlines on these butterflies or moths, whichever. And I can't remember if I had all of these done. I always put a picture up of where I was before if I have it available, but I did add in all of these here. I have been, for the most part, still sticking to my Wednesday rotation where I switch out my projects every Wednesday, for the most part. So this one, I don't know, maybe that was a busy week. I didn't get super, super far. Also, this is a pattern that I have to work from my phone. Just the way the PDF printed, I'm not able to work from that. So that is a little more challenging for me. I don't typically do a lot of digital patterns, but so progress is progress. I've got one more row of the butterflies, and then I'll probably do the bottom, and then I'll start filling them in. So this project is going to take a little while longer for sure. And we need to pick a new project to work on together. The next one that I have here is the Moon Phase Bell Pull by Tiny Modernist. This is also one of my older works in progress. This, I think I started in 2021. And I am stitching along with Jen of Jen's Fiberweb and Stephanie from Cross Stitch Globe. I want to talk just a second about both of them. Jen has a new Ko-Fi shop. She's been doing a little bit of designing, and it's been super exciting to see what she's coming out with. She has a freebie on there, which is Little Owl's Night, and she has another pattern with this cute lobster on it that's called Not Today. This will be linked below. She also has two patterns that she is using the proceeds of to donate to the ACLU. One is called Resist, and the other is called SAF, S-A-F. I did purchase that one, and I believe that there is a stitch along that just started to go along with that one too. So that's really exciting for Jen. Congratulations on that. And I also want to talk a little bit about Stephanie's other channel, which is Stephanie Shops Secondhand, I believe is what it's called. It'll definitely be linked below. But I'm really loving this. That channel has been keeping me company while I make dinner or just like hanging out. I don't know. It's really lovely and relaxing, and it's just fun to spend more time with Stephanie. So I hope you check out both of those if you have not already. Anyways, this is a stitch along that they have going. It's a full moon stitch along, so we work on it on the full moon of every month. And they have it split up into like 12 sections so they can finish it this year. I am just stitching on it, I want it to be done. So that project lives in this quilting with Nico bag. I really love. It only calls for 4 colors of DMC, so I'm using the called for colors. I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count Timberwolf by Seraphim. And here's our mat. Oh, go back a little bit. So, as you can see, I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. I had hoped this time to finish up the trees, but I did not. And then I believe when Jen posted her progress of this, she did finish the trees, and that was 25% of the pattern. So I guess I shouldn't feel too bad about not totally finishing them in one night. And I don't know this month if I'm going to go down or up or what. I haven't decided yet. But I'm really enjoying this full moon stitch along. It's really keeping me motivated and interested in this project that I've had a hard time making traction on. So I'm really thankful that Jen suggested that I join them. And I really love how this is coming along. I'm really excited to get this done this year. So awesome. Okay. The next pattern that I worked on and actually finished is another stitch along that I'm doing with a friend. This is a birthday stitch along that I started with my friend Leah Noel of Rhubarb Patch Studios, and this is Extra Goose by Sub Rosa. We both turned 40 in last year, and so what we decided to do was we both are stitching this entire project, and we are exchanging the egg portion, and then we're going to sew them onto our projects, and we'll have a little bit of each other stitching together. So I love this idea. This has also been super fun. This whole process has been fun. It was fun to pick out the project. It's been fun to work on the project. It's been great. And she's great, so couldn't do it with a better person. So let's see. That project lived in this little bag from Diana. It is Kismet. I stitched it on a piece of 32 count Balmoral by Color and Cotton, another fabric of the month. We did pick the same count and the same dyer to stitch on. So with the Color and Cotton, and I did not use any of the called for colors. For the goose side, I used Sulky White. It's very blown out, which is my favorite white to use, and I just picked a bunch of pretty spring colors from my stash. My flosses are always a mess. And then for the egg side, what I ended up doing for my egg was I picked a bunch of different cream colored flosses and kind of combined them together. So I've got a couple of cottons, like regular, which these probably are all going to look the same here, but it's a very slight difference in person. And then I don't know why I only have one piece of this, but I used some silk, some Splendor silk, and then for the majority of the egg I used the snowy white matte floss from XG Design. I love matte floss. I think it gives it a really interesting effect. And I wanted this to kind of have like a natural effect, and I can't decide. Okay, hang on, I'll show you. So here's my project. And so you've seen the goose before, and then Leah did chart 1984 for us. So there's my goose, and then here's my egg. So there is, and I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up, I did create like a slight pattern in the egg with the different flosses that I used, and I'm hoping that it gives it like a natural look. The color is pretty blown out here, so I'm not really sure how it's going to look when I watch this back, but I am pretty happy with it. I just hope that it doesn't look sloppy. I'm not meaning for it to look sloppy. I was just meaning for it to have a little bit of texture, so there's my egg. It's been super, super fun. So we have no plans as to when we're going to actually exchange these. So there's no rush. This has been very low pressure, which has been super, super nice. I love them. Okay, I needed to bring over another pile of projects. So the next thing I have to share with you is from D's 20 Stitches. This is a portion of the 2025 Stitch for Pride. And this month's portion was, I had to make a sticky because I don't have this printed out. I'll have pictures over here. But this month's person was Cho Jen, who was the Woman Knight of the Mirror Lake. And I have to say, I really appreciate how thoughtful Dee is in the different learning materials that get sent along with this project. So in this stitch along, you do some learning and then you do some stitching. And there are many different options that they send for ways to do your learning. So I really appreciate that there's podcasts to listen to or videos to watch, because that's how I learn best. So it's been great. I've been able to put on one of the podcasts, and usually I stitch on these at my lunch break, and I'm just really, really enjoying the stitch along. So these are living in this cute little elephant bag, and I'm stitching them all individually. You do have the option to stitch them as a spot sampler, but I'm stitching them all individually, and I'd like to make individual pillows out of each one. This month I stitched my piece on a piece of 32 count gunmetal. It was a little piece I had in my stash, and I used this Mad X Stitcher, who I don't believe produces floss anymore. This kind of red orange. I am trying to keep with the general feel of the colors that Dee has provided. I did not get the floss or the fabric to go with it. I've used this in 1, 2, 3. This is at least 4 projects that this skein has been used on, and here is a little finish. So that was super fun. I think I said a couple minutes ago that the colors are definitely washing out. The fabric is a little darker and the floss is a little more vibrant. So there it is, and I'm excited to get started on April. The next pattern that I worked on is the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcygirl on Instagram. It's a free pattern, and I'm pretty sure it's still available on their Instagram. It'll be linked below for sure. And I only have this black and white printout copy. So obviously this does not do it any justice. But I did start this in 2021 on the 1-year anniversary of the first case of known case of COVID in Maryland, and I have continued to work on it in March since then. This project lives in this bag here. I'm using all of the called for DMC, which is not a small amount, but this is a pretty big project. Ooh, it's getting a little ratty there. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count My Little Dove by XG Design. And I was hoping to get a page finish, but I did not. So here's where I'm at. The top half is completely done, and I'm working on the bottom 3 pages. And I worked on this page over here. Bring it in a little closer so I can show you what I did, hopefully. So I decided when I started working on this again, I already had the border done, and maybe a portion of the house, and I might even have had some of these little doodads down here done. I don't remember. You'll know, even though I can't remember. But when I started working on this, I decided I couldn't get into anything else until I got the house done, because that is so much stitching, and I just really wanted that out of the way so I could enjoy all of the other little creatures that are on this page. Not that I fully dislike stitching houses. A lot of times, like a big block of fill-in is just really soothing, but I really prefer to stitch things like that using the sewing method, and because I had started this on a Q-snap, I didn't feel comfortable switching my methods, so it stays on the Q-snap. But maybe this can come out again this year to get that page finish, I guess. We'll find out together, right? Well, the next project I have here is a stitch along that I started last year that I did not get super far on. In fact, I might have another stitch along underneath of this one to share too that I did not get very far on. But this is the Book of Fungi Sal by Living on the Rainbow. Here's a picture of what it's going to look like. I stitched the front cover, and then, I don't know, I had a hard time getting into this project, and I'm not sure fully why. But I did pull it out this month, and I got another page finish. I worked on page 3, which is the Inky Cat Mushroom. This lives in this project bag, and like, I don't know if you can like hear, like, this is pretty hefty because not only is there a lot of pattern that goes along with this, but there is a ton of floss. Like, there's this whole bag of floss in here as well. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I struggled with this. But I just worked on one page. That's all I needed to get done. These were the colors that went along with this page. I think I just need to like get this organized. I don't think that I'm going to be able to move forward until I really get organized. So anyways, here are the 3 pages I have done. And like I said, I do have the front cover done, but I didn't pull that out. And here is the page that I worked on this month. I don't know if I can get that to focus. This is fun. There is some like back stitching that goes over top of the top of these mushrooms that I think kind of looks messy, but at this point, are you coming over and looking through my mushroom book? I don't think so. Nobody will mind. So I still have 5 to 7 pages left to go. These won't take very long, and then I have the back cover to do too, and I think that's like also got me a little hung up. So the progress is progress, so that's good. Another stitch along that needs some progress is the Court of Crows Sal by Fine Frog Stitching. I'll put in a cover photo here. I joined this a little while ago, I guess when it first came out, and it keeps getting pushed for whatever reason. I'm not like getting very far on this. I just need to, again, focus. Focus. I know that I've got a lot of projects here, but I have had a little bit less stitching time this month, or in March. I've got some stuff going on that's got me coming home about an hour and a half later than I normally do, several days out of the week. So by the time I get home, I'm done. Anyways, Court of Crows Sal, Fine Frog Stitching. Here is the bag that it lives in. I think that there are 3 sections that have been released other than just the frames. Here are the colors. Obviously, I've got a couple that need to get onto floss drops. The colors are fun. All the called for DMC, and I'm also using the called for fabric. This is by Witch's Garden Crafts. This is an 18 count in the color Call Call. And here's where it's at. So I am almost done with 1 page. It'll get there. That'll be fine. You can see the color a little better back here, hopefully. So I'll just keep picking away at that. Progress will happen, and this next project is a good example of how picking away you really can make some good progress. This is Cats on Parade by Blackbird Design, and I have really struggled to get any progress on this. I don't remember if I started this in 2021 or 22. I feel like it's one of those years. I feel like this whip has been around for a while. It's typically one that I only work in October. But I pulled it out this month. I just wanted to get something done on it, and I've ended up using it as my lunchtime stitching for 2.5 weeks now. And I feel like I finally have gotten my teeth into this and made some really, really good progress. So let me show you how far we've gotten. This lives in this little black cat bag, which matches perfectly. And I'm using a combination of DMC 3371 and Sulky 713. to give a really nice coverage on this. I think this is a 28 count. No, this is a 32 count Lugana by Ship's Manor. It was the June Prim color. It may be like 2018, I'm not sure. But here's where I am. Oh, I feel so good about how far this has come. So I put in, I think I had some of this cat done, but I definitely got the cat outlined, added in this flag. I might have added in some doodahs. This might have been all the way over, but I don't remember. You'll know. I think I had a little bit of this side of the fence left to do. And then I brought the top border over. I got this cat added in, the outline of that cat. I got the flag, all the doodahs, and I've got my fence almost to the end. I've got 1, 2, and a line. So I'm really, really happy. You know, this was like 30 to 40 minutes a day, but just a little bit at a time. Now, I thought about bringing it as my lunchtime stitching again this week, but I've only got 3 days where I'll be there for lunch, so I'm not sure if this will go away. I haven't fully decided what I want to do with this yet. I might just put it away until October, but we'll see. And speaking of older whips, I've got 2 more finishes to share. I'm really over the moon about both of these and having them off of my whip list. I think I finished, I'm not sure where my book of days went, but I think I finished 8 or 9 of the whips that I came into the year with. I came in to 2025 with 52, and I finished 8 or 9 of them, and I'm feeling really, really good about that, and still I'm feeling really motivated to work through my list. So, yay! The first one that I finished here, these were actually both on the same piece of fabric, which makes this even better. But the first one I have here finished is Jenny Bean's Gentle Spring Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler, which looks like this. I have previously finished Jenny Bean's Halloween and Jenny Bean's Christmas, so this is spring that's now done, and I think that there's like a Jenny Bean garden sampler, maybe, that I could do for summer. It's fine. I chose all my own colors for this project, and it was stitched on a piece of 36 count Farm Eggs by Extra Design, which used to be an exclusive at Kitten Stitcher Shop. I don't know that it's still available. I don't think it is. Both of the projects I have here lived in this project bag. Here are the flosses that I used. There were a ton of them, and some of them have actually already gone on to other projects. I immediately scavenged out of here. And here is my finish. So, hopefully that's focusing okay. Like I said, I did choose all of my own colors for this, and I did make two modifications. I did leave off this border here just because of space, and then it says Gentle Mothers Lead the Way, but that just didn't really resonate with me, so I did end up changing the verse. And so, again, to Grateful Dead lyrics, it now says, "Mama, mama, many worlds I've come since I first left home." And I stitched these 2/1 half stitch on this 36 count. I've never done like the 2/1 stitching 4/1 words before. I don't know if I like it very much. And I am considering adding in maybe my mom's initials, or my mom's initials, or something right here. I feel like it needs something right there, but I haven't made that decision yet. So this is done for now. Super, super happy with that. And then the final piece of stitching I have to share with you today was on the other half of that fabric, and this is Dame's Boarding School by Exemplar Dames Design Company. And I actually finished this yesterday, so this is an April finish. I was inspired to stitch this project after seeing Stephanie from Lindy Stitches stitch it. She used the same fabric and I wanted it to look just like hers. It was one of those like pause the video immediately, order all the supplies, start it ASAP. I'd already had the fabric in my stash, so I bought the pattern and all the called for flosses that went with it. And this was a super fun and quirky little stitch. So that's what it looked like. Again, all of the called for flosses. And here's my finish. Love it. Love it, love it. This border is super interesting. There are no two things on this border that are the same. It says here on the back, it says, please take a good look at the border of this design. Since it's a border from an 1817 Quaker sampler, you will notice that the border is uneven. So please take a couple of minutes to take notice of the different leaves and rosebuds, which are stitched with different colors, and no two leaves or rosebuds are alike. It also says the Danes boarding school has 2 buildings, one for girls and one for boys. Lots of Quaker boarding schools took in boys and girls so they could learn basic academic skills and needlework. Lots of Quaker schools were supported by the sale of their needlework. Allen's school was mentioned in 1832 and was presumably one of the 5-day schools, which included the parish school and boarding schools, where 142 boys and 65 girls were taught in 1833. So, pretty cool. There is a big pink house, a big blue house. I love this blue color. The grass at the bottom was very interesting. I love these birds. So yeah. Love, love, love. Feeling great getting these whips done. So, alright. That is everything that I stitched on March into just here the first couple of days of April. So I'm going to get these kind of out of the way and I am going to talk about some giveaways. Okay, so like I think I said earlier, sometimes it takes me a long time to get these filmed. There's a lot of interruptions, and with my ADHD, I don't always remember what I've said previously. But hopefully I said that we just passed my 6-year anniversary on Flosstube. And I don't always have it together to do a giveaway, like I did not do one last year for my 5-year anniversary, but when I am able to get one together, I do like to make it like a favorite things giveaway. So I've got 3 giveaways here to share with you today. Like I said earlier, standard giveaway rules apply. Please be 18. Do not say giveaway in the comments. These do need to be in the US only because they're a little bulkier, and I don't think that I would be able to ship them in a very cost-effective manner outside of the United States. So thank you for understanding that. And, I love you guys, and I just want to share some things that I love with you. So, the first one we have here is this bag that I made. Please note, I am not a professional bag maker. These definitely have flaws, but they zip and they will hold your projects. So, just don't always look too closely at the seams. But this is a little rose fabric that I found, I think, last year, and I ended up buying the rest of the bolt of. It's just like pretty and vintage and lovely, and I love it. And it's got a little red bottom here, and it is a top zip. I'm not gonna zip and unzip these, but if you win this bag, inside of it are all 12 of the monthly Quakers by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. I know that I might have moaned about these, but I love stitching samplers, I love stitching Quakers, and I want to share some of that Quaker love with all of you. Now I went to my Michaels. Joann's always had a better DMC selection in my opinion, and unfortunately that was not an option, so I did go to my Michaels, and whatever DMC they had for each of the charts I did buy. These all only, oh, poor February didn't get any. These do all only call for 3 colors, so if, oh, May didn't either. You obviously don't have to use the DMC. You could use the called for overdyes. You could just pick colors out of your stash, just like I did, that was fun to do. Yeah, so if you would like to be entered to win the Rosebud project bag and all 12 of these Quaker patterns, I would like you to use the word Quaker in the comment below. Now these are used, like I stitched from these, so some of them might be a little bit creased up, but they're all definitely legible and will be easy to stitch from, and I hope that they bring you a lot of joy as well. So like I said, if you're interested in winning this bag with those charts, please use the word Quaker in your comment. The next bag that I have here for you harkens back to my love of the Grateful Dead. This is some Grateful Dead fabric that I have been hoarding for quite some time. I need to make myself a project bag out of this as well. So one of the reasons why the Dead is so important to me is I kind of discovered them in my 20s, my early 20s, in a time that was kind of very lonely for me. I was a single mom. I was going through some transitions in my life, and I found the Dead, and through that found an entire community of people, and a lot of friendship, and that really reminds me of the community and the friendship that I've had here through Flosstube, through my stitching, through our collective love of needlework. So any of my fellow Deadheads out there might be able to relate to that. So yeah, I have this beautiful Grateful Dead project bag here for you, and a couple of goodies to go in it as well. I got another one of the Community is Resistance stickers from Jerry. She had, I had ordered this on Etsy for this giveaway, and like 2 days later she had put in our group chat, hey, anybody wants one, I'll send it to you, and I was like, oh please. So I got one and you got one. And I made this little needle minder to match the one that I have. The one I have was a gift from my friend Krista, but I made you one as well. This was a pin that Erin grinded the back off of, and these are rare earth magnets on the back. And then the pattern I have to share with you is by Crazy Fingers Cross Stitch. I contacted her, her name is Ashley, and she's very sweet, and I asked her if I could possibly purchase this as a paper pattern, or if I could get permission to purchase a PDF and print one copy for the purpose of this giveaway, and she very kindly said that I could. She's awesome. And this is Bigfoot County. I stitched this, was it earlier this year or late last year? I don't know. It's on my wall right over there. I'm looking at it right now. I love this pattern. This was quick and fun and adorable, and I did get the called for DMC to be included in that as well. So if you would like to win the Steely bag, the Grateful Dead bag, with this pattern, this sticker, and this needle minder, just use the word grateful in your comment. All right. The last giveaway that I have today is a little more notions driven. I have this adorable bag here. This is a Edgar Allan Poe bag. I actually had a another smaller project bag cut out, but yesterday when Erin and I had to go into our town, I had to do some shopping for a work event, and I was at one of the local department stores, and they had this bag, and I was like, yes, I'm absolutely getting this. This is a perfect little notions bag. So I've got this sweet little Poe bag, and inside of it I've got some goodies for you. This first one is by Modern Hoopla, and it looks like this, and it holds your bobbins. And there's a little magnet here at the end for a needle, so if you're working on your project, you can have all your bobbins lined up next to you, and your little magnet for your needles or your scissors, and how sweet is that? speaking of needles, I got you a pack of the Easy Guide ball tip needles in a size 26. These are my favorite needles. These are basically all I ever want to stitch with, so just in case you haven't tried them, here's some for you to try. I have this cute little tape measure. I got you a little notebook. You can use it for anything, or you can use it for stitchy notes. I know that typically when I go to LNS, a local needlework store, I bring a notepad with me. I like to organize what I am looking for, and I come with lists. So maybe you could use it for that. I have this little, it's a little sticky there from where the price tag was. I have this needlework press. This is for like cleaning your eyeglasses. I know a lot of stitchers wear glasses or cheaters, but there is a little story that goes along with this. I had this little lens cleaner tacked up at my desk for a long time, and I looked at it all the time, and I had wanted to buy this pattern, and I had just put it off, and then I had the opportunity to go to Arizona a few years ago, and I got to see this actual antique in person, which was amazing. And I went to the attic and I bought the pattern, and then Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions went to Color and Cotton, and she got a conversion for the flosses, and we got to start it, and it's just been, there's just so much love associated in my heart with this pattern. So when I was at InStitches, I saw they had one of these, and so I'm excited to be able to share that with you. This is Ellen Harrison 1889 by Needlework Press. And the last thing in this little pouch is a pattern for you to make a pin cushion, and this is Maryland Blue Crab by Artist Design. This was number 1, right? There's just a Peak Base Series. I think it's number 1. I've stitched all of them? All but one? I've got 1, 2, 3 of them on my wall, my Chesapeake Bay wall over there, but I think I finished one more. So this pattern will be included as well, so you can make your own little Maryland pin cushion. So if you are interested in winning this bag, this little Notions bag full of all of these goodies, I would just like for you to tell me what your favorite needles are down in the comments, and that will get you entered to win this. So I hope everybody's excited. I'm always excited to share the things that I love with you. You guys are the reason that I make these videos, and it's greatly improved my life in a lot of ways. So thank you all, and I'll be right back. Alright, all I have left now is what came in the mail and what I bought at 2 different stores. So first thing I have to share is my monthly fabric clubs. This is from Color and Cotton. This is the March 2025 fabric club. This is a 36 count in the color custard, which I'm sure will look white, but is very pretty yellowy cream. Love their fabric. The other fabric of the month club that I'm in this year is through one of my local needlework stores, Needlecraft Corner. They did a collaboration with Picture This Plus to do a fabric club of fabrics that Blackbird Designs calls for. So this is their Picture This Plus Blackbird Design Fabric of the Month club. Anyways, each month it comes with a little extra goodie. This was a little zipper pull, a little March gnome on a little embroidery hoop, and this month's fabric was oaken, and I get a fat quarter of 36 count. So that is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Really, really like this color, but this is like the tightest 36 count I've ever seen. It looks like 40 to me, but either way, beautiful fabric. I did, when I was purchasing the Bigfoot County, sorry, lost it there for a minute. The Bigfoot County pattern from Crazy Finger Cross Stitch. I also got this pattern from them. This is Shake Their Bones. Their patterns say Pine Drops. I think that used to be what their company was called. I'm not sure. It'll be linked below though. Which looks like this. Another ode to the Grateful Dead. Throwing stones. This definitely is giving me, like, I need like 14 or 18 count oatmeal Ada, and I think that will look awesome in my kitchen, like the vintage vibe of that. It's so cool. I am super behind on printing PDFs that I've purchased. I don't know what's wrong with my printer, but I have to put like each piece of paper in one at a time. I probably just need a new printer, so I haven't been printing them very often, but since I was doing that one, I went ahead and did this one too. Alright, so when we went to the Woodlawn show, we also went to InStitches. Actually, from Woodlawn, I always like to get myself a little souvenir, and I got some pretty little storks. And I also got myself a little tape measure. I love these and lose them all the time. I don't know why. But from InStitches, I also got myself some Baltic needles. These are 28s. And then she has like sale baskets right by the front door, which are always fun to look through. And from there, I got the Black Dog Sampler by Scarlet House. And I also got Sir Thomas by Glendon Place. I mean, he was only $10, so how could I not? He's really cool. I also got this pattern by Needlework Press. I found this cardstock Prairie Schooler. This is called Fall Fields. It looks like this. And one of the women in my stitch group, Catherine, suggested I stitch these and do a bunting with them like I did with the Top Knot Stitcher Monthly Moons, and I love that idea. So I've got a sticky note inside here, so I remember that. I do still have some of that bunting left, and I think that would be so cool. There's also an owl on the back, or an owl, but the pattern's there, so. Great find. From Tiny Modernist, I got this Spring Traditions sampler, which this is not like my typical style, but it just is so pretty. You know, it's just really pretty and bright and vibrant. And I don't know that I'll start it this spring. Maybe next year. We'll see. See what happens. It's just it's DMC. It's 120 wide by 180 high, so not that big. Cute. So that's everything I got at InStitches. I did place a 1-2-3 stitch order. I was watching Brenda and Laura, and they were talking about this heartstring samplery chart, and I had not seen this before. This is Sarah Boothman, 1845. And if you remember last year, I stitched Ellen Ford by Mary Lynn Farm, and it was stitched in the Gentle Art wool, and I loved the Gentle Art wool, and I've been looking for another pattern to do in the wools, and this is stitched in wool, and also some cottons. But either way, she's beautiful. I'd never seen that before, and I really, really, really like it. I also got, I think this is the only thing I got from Market so far. I think I mentioned last time, sometimes when there's so many great things that come out at once, I get like paralyzed and I can't order any of them. But this one I knew I definitely wanted to get. And this is Deborah Clendenin by Queenstown Sampler. And Miss Deborah was born 1826 in Port Deposit, which is in Cecil County, Maryland. And she looks like this. She's a very light sampler, but very pretty. I might do like a little bit of a darker fabric for this just to make it pop a little more. It calls for Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit, an MPI or DMC, and the verse says, religion shall my thoughts engage, while in my youthful bloom, 'twill fit me for declining age and for the silent tomb. And I'm not sure that I will keep that, but we'll see. sorry, I got a little distracted because there's a bunch of history about Ms. Deborah here on the back, and the reason that I knew I had to have this is so like Port Deposit's like right there across the water from me, and that's where my aunt lives, and I don't know, I've never seen a Cecil County sampler before, and I just was really impressed. I've always looked for a Harford County sampler, which is the county that I live in. I would love to find one day, so maybe, but that was my market order for this year. I also just got some fusible fleece. I used to buy this on Amazon, and I'm trying not to purchase from Amazon, so I found that 1 2 3 Stitch carried this. I know this is probably not the most economical way to buy it, but it's 22 by 36 inches, and this size is easier for me to manage than yardage, so I got that. From, I think, Stash Unload or Stash Unloading, I'm not sure. I got 2 additional Prairie Schooler charts. I got mittens. I have another mittens chart by them, but this one has cats and heart hand and snowman. I just really like all of these. And I also got November, which is my birthday month. And I had thought about purchasing this one several times and had never pulled the trigger, and finally I decided this was a good price, so I decided to get it. And the last thing that I have here was my other thrift find. I was at one of my local Goodwills, and I was just poking around. I didn't really find anything, and I don't know what made me look in this little bin in a section that I don't ever go in, like over like where the pillows and stuff are, but I saw this little baggie sticking out, and I was like, I wonder what that is, and I went and got it, and it is this gallon bag that is absolutely stuffed with cross-stitch fabric. There is linen, there is Aida, there is multiple colors and counts, and it was $3. Yeah, so I saw this and I was like, oh, obviously I'm going to buy that, but I was hoping that there would be some things in there that I could use to stitch these little animals on. I got this from Stephanie of Cross Stitch the Globe, her D-Stash, which I think is all on her Etsy now, and so I'll make sure I link her Etsy down below. I am anxiously waiting for her vintage resale Etsy shop to open, as are, I'm sure, many people. So I thought there might be some contenders for this in here, and I was definitely right. I'll have to go through and get this organized at some point, but how fun is that for $3? Yes, please. Okay, I think that is everything. I hope that your March was great and your April is starting off good as well. Yeah, I've got spring break coming up this month, and I am freaking ready. I am so ready for some time off. I had all of these plans made for things I was going to get done around the house during that time, and Erin was like, Megan, you're going to ruin your time off, which is something that I tend to do. I'm not very good at relaxing and just enjoying that downtime. So we talked about the projects I had planned, and he helped me scale them back and maybe come up with some more realistic expectations for myself. So fingers crossed that I can do that and get a lot of good stitching in during that time. And yeah. So anyways, hope you're all well. Love you. Bye.